Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our August Coast edition of our Coffee Club Cupping. So good to see you guys. You're my trusted team. Together, we're going to go through these coffees, analyze them, see what they taste like, and hopefully make our taste buds even sharper. But we're doing things faster from now on. It's going to be a 40-minute session today. So if anybody's not ground their coffees, get grinding now. I'm going to start grinding on the Ode. So I'm going to be really fast and get your kettle on. Make sure it gets to super hot boil. Here we go. Our kettle's on and I'm going to get grinding. What we're going to do is I'm going to explain in under a minute how you do a cupping. Are you ready? What you do is you get 4 cups. It doesn't matter what sizes they are, as long as you have the same amount of coffee in them. Then you grind to a medium fine grind setting, just so you can open up the coffee properly. Then you pour the same amount of water in each, preferably 12 grams to 200 water. If you have cupping bowls, fill them to the top. Then you wait 10 minutes. Then you spoon out all the coffee at the top surface. Make sure you're using lots of bowls of water to clean the spoons in between. Then you go through the coffees and you taste them. And by tasting them this way, you will improve your taste buds and love coffee even more. Here we go. I'm going to get grinding coffee number 1. That was fast. Right. So, guys, have you been enjoying this Coast edition? I have. Super amazing coffees. And the reason why we're called Coast is because all 4 roasters are from the coastline, somewhere here in Europe. So we'll go through that in a minute. But I'm now going to just grind the coffee. Here we go. I'm setting it on the Ode to cupping, which is between 2 and 3. So I'll put it closer to 2. And take the dry aroma in as well. Remember, take note of the dry aroma, and then you'll remember the journey of the coffee all the way through to the final sip. Tips for grinding: make sure that your grind is even. You need a good grinder. If you have a crappy grinder, then it won't brew very well. But I have to say, even with crappy grinds, when you're doing this kind of cupping, it's forgiving because you're not using filter paper, you're not following a recipe, you just pour in the water. The dry aroma on number 1 is very sweet and gentle. Considering the explosion of flavors you get with Morgan's Columbia, I really think this is a nice kind of gentle aroma. Interesting, right? Okay, next one. All right. Number 2 is the natural, the washed anaerobic Guatemala by Stupa. Okay.
Yeah, number 2's got something nicer going on, like stronger dry smell.
Okay, I barely heard that over my kettle. Sorry. Who said that and what was it? Chris, what did you say again?
I'm just saying, like, a number 2 seems like a stronger smell. There's more intensity in just the grounds.
That's very true. I could smell mine as soon as I ground it over the top of the other aroma. So you're right. Maybe that's the anaerobic part of the wash process, but
right,
it's got something a little bit more pungent than you might get with a washed. Almost like a cheesy smell. Very nice.
Yes, sort of tanginess.
Yeah. Really nice. Okay, so coffee number 3, the Wild Natural. I call it wild because I haven't had a natural like this in a while. Okay. I keep getting problems with chaff in my Ode grinder, but it doesn't really matter as long as I bang it all out. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, good tip that last month to spray the beans when they're using the Ode, but I just don't have time right now. Wow, what a gentle smell again for a really heady taste, this coffee. Haven't tasted it today, but generally this natural Ethiopia, that's such a lovely, delicate smell. Okay, finally, coffee number 4. Okay, the coffee number 4 is the what? Yeah. Okay, apologies to any of you who've already ground. As Morgan stated, he's ground and ready to go before we even begin. Something I think we should all be doing from now on. Obviously, newbies won't have everything ready, but I commend Morgan on his organizational skills and preparation for cuppings. Wow, so gentle, number 4, but you can really smell that fruity nature of the Kenya. Lovely. Okay, so there they are. 4 coffees ready to go. Let's get our kettles ready. Kettle in hand.
Wait.
Well, we've got to wait, but we've got to move because we've only got now 35 minutes. We're on Zoom, and I know that Zoom tends to cut off abruptly. So I would like to end today just before the cutoff, or if it does cut off, everybody come right back in again afterwards so we can wrap up. How many clicks? Yes, 22 is recommended, 22 to 24. I would recommend 22. Go a bit finer, open your coffee up. Nothing wrong with that, really, is there? This is about exploration of flavors. So 22 clicks on the Comandante, which works out on microns. Got a great tip recently for working out microns. I think it's like 70 microns, is it, per click on the Comandante. So this is a really useful thing to know, is there is a amount of clicks. There's an amount of microns per click. So if you have a ruler and you can work out clicks. If somebody says, oh, I use a Comandante, but you don't have one, find out the clicks, then calculate the microns, then you got your answer. So
I think it's 30, Tim.
30 what?
It's 30 microns per click.
Oh, 30 microns per click. Excellent. That's the one. 70 would be a bit much, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's how you do maths. Are we ready? I think we should get going as soon as possible so we can steep. I've got my kettle ready. Thumbs up. Is everybody ready? Do it. Pouring now. Make sure you've got plenty of water. If you haven't got quite enough by the 4th or 3rd cup, don't half fill it. I say this every month. Just stop, refill your kettle. Make sure you pour a full cup only. Okay, that's 1 coffee. And I hope you all have our Right Rose cupping bowls one day, because they do make life easier, color-coded and all. And you're not going to see that logo now on the bags anymore, that we've redesigned the bags. Okay. Hope I got enough water. I'm really not sure if I got enough now for coffee number 4. Yeah, I do. It's a risk, though. Please have enough. And relief, I have enough. Great. Phew. Okay. So now the first part of the steep, that's 4 minutes. Then we got to brush the surface, scoop, whatever it is. You're basically going to agitate and release some smell from the crust. Then we're going to wait another, is it 10 minutes or 6 minutes after that?
10.
Another 10 minutes. So it is a 15-minute wait overall, hence why we like to get going straight away. And during this time, though, we can talk about the coffees. And I'm going to go through the cupping part a lot quicker. So in the past, I tend to linger on the front end, aroma, mouthfeel, acidity, body, and finish. If we could sort of push through those parts quite quickly, because it's the flavor identification part that I find more interesting, more relevant, more useful to furthering our kind of sensoriness experience, taste bud exercise, whatever you want to call it. I think that part where your brain searches for flavor notes is a really, really powerful time for kind of memory, taste bud relationship type thing, sensory engagement. And I want to get there faster. I want to hear what you guys are tasting louder, and I will provide my own unusual flavor notes as well. So let's start talking about our coffees this month. I have loved them, all 4 of them, because they're just such great examples of the passionate work that these roasters do. Morgon coffee roasters, not to be confused with Coffee Morgan, sitting right there. They are a Swedish outfit, used to work at Demateo. Don't know if you know this, guys, but Demateo was basically run by Christian and is it Marcus and Christian? They basically were the team at Demateo. And then they started their own roastery, and Gabby, and the three of them moved to create Morgon. I think Demateo's in Gothenburg, I'm not sure. Yeah, so basically Demateo's in Gothenburg. They moved over and started their own, and that delicious amazing went with them, because this coffee I've wanted to have in the set for years. Sandra Milena Mora, I think is the name. I'm not really going to forget it because it's one of my favorite Colombian coffees, I have to say. This one here, it's got everything I love in a Colombian coffee. The session kind of experience, meaning I can drink it morning, noon, and night. The complexity, ease of complexity. If I really wanted to make this coffee something that was sort of delicate and layered and complex, I would take my time with a nice special brew. Or if I just wanted an easy up, it's a very forgiving coffee. You can mess it up and still get a tasty brew. This is what I love about this coffee and about Morgon and about Colombian coffees. Oh my God. I only talked about one coffee and we've now got a steep. Okay, get your spoons ready. Here we go. So what you're going to do is, for people at home who don't know, take your 2 spoons into the cup, scoop out the surface, dip it into the cup, dip into another cup, clean it, and then go again. But don't forget to brush and smell. Here we go. Coffee number 1. Oh, so lovely, isn't it? Oh, that smell. Here we go. So, cleaning the surface, 2 spoons into the first cup. These are not drinking cups, of course. And then into the second one. And then we go to the next. Oh, first I'm going to do that inhale thing. Always surprised by how gentle the natural Ethiopia is in aroma, because the taste for me is a very opposite experience. That just smells like cake, doesn't it? Something very cake-like about the Ethiopia. A fruit cake. Okay. Coffee number 3. Mine's got a really nice crust.
Yeah.
It was not the natural Ethiopia. I'm sorry. The cake-like smell came from the Guatemala. Now the natural Ethiopia. Big crust on here. No, that does smell like a natural. So I got them mixed up. And this one is, the aroma is, it's really lovely. A really wild kind of deep smell. Okay, cleaning coffee number 3.
Tim, is
Yes,
there
sir.
significance to like whether you get a crust or not? Is that a pointer of if this has brewed correctly?
No, it's just a reflection on the beans, the grind. It's not an indication of quality or even quality of cupping. You haven't done anything wrong. It just will behave differently. I find that I'm not getting crusts very often at home, but that doesn't mean I haven't done it right, because the coffees themselves have not tasted weird. You're really not doing much. You're just pouring water into the cup.
Right. This is really not complicated. Yeah, I've only got a crust on 3 today.
Me too. So you're not really doing anything wrong, in my opinion. It's just the behavior of the coffee and perhaps the shape of your cup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes if you find that when you're going to professional cuppings and they have got a lot of crusty surfaces, maybe they always grind a certain way, super fine or something. But I just find that I'm not getting crusts as often.
Right. Okay.
Right. So moving on, when talking about the 4 coffees, Stuka. Now, you guys know that here at the Coffee Club, we do extra. We don't just do extra in the here and now. We have an archived extra as well. So for Stuka, for instance, we have a long history with them. We once visited their roastery when we went on holiday abroad. I did an episode on YouTube about 4 years ago. We took a Christmas holiday on a cruise. And when we ended up in Amsterdam, we had a few hours there. Aiko and I decided to visit Stuka because you could literally just walk off the boat and go into their roastery. And we only had a few hours in Amsterdam. And then we went to Hamburg and we visited a few more coffee shops. So that was a bit of a coast experience. And I recommend you watch that video if you want to learn a bit more about Stuka, Florian, and he has this training academy there. And we also did a commercial where we went to the Barbican Center. I put this on Instagram. It's a little video with 2 bags of coffee animated, but it shows you their design that they had years ago. It was very cool. And that's on YouTube as well. They're redesigned bags. I really like them. Have a look at this. For those of you who didn't get the whole bags. Okay, so you've got a really nice out of focus. There we go. And I love that. All good. Very cool. So we were going to work with them a few months ago, but they basically held off and said, we need to redesign our bags. Can you wait? And that was for this, a very subtle but intelligent looking bag, I think. And coffee number 3, Nord Oslo. Well, our work with them goes way back as well. We first discovered Nord at the London Coffee Festival 2015 or 2016, and they were just launching. And I love their bag design, which hasn't changed. Really cool. Hasn't changed in the 7 years. It always looked like this with all the cool little details on it. And love Nord because they do fantastic coffee. They're really cool young guys as well. They're trying to do things a bit hip and different in Norway because Norway has this more traditional approach to specialty coffee, a more serious approach. And these guys are a bit more lighthearted about things, and I really enjoyed their angle when they launched. And ever since, I've been doing great coffees. So it's good to have them in our edition this month.
The second time in the coffee club.
Ah, what was the first one in the coffee club? We had a Tanzania, was it the pea berry?
Flavour coffee.
Vava Coffee, Tanzania. Now, someone here knows very well about Vava Coffee, Black Honey Girl, because we sent her the amazing magazine by Vava, and she's an amazing woman. She's based in Kenya, but she also covers Tanzania. There's the magazine. Have a look now. Black Honey Girl is holding up this fantastic magazine. Let's see it. It's really cool. This is the great work she's doing in Kenya. She's an amazing woman. But she also has sort of farm in Tanzania. So she's working on both sides of the border. But she's based in Kenya. And I would love to talk to her in next month's edition, Africa edition. Just talking about Kenya would be amazing. Yeah, look at that. So cool. So this coffee is from Kenya. And it's not connected with Vava, but we know that Kenya is an amazing place. We'll be visiting Kenya next month as well for the Africa edition, and we'll learn specifically about Kenya in that edition. Because this month we're focused on coast, which means we're focusing on the roaster themselves. Pelicano, they're based in Brighton. We were going to go to the Brighton Coffee Festival. I apologize to you, Brighton Coffee Festival, for not showing up. We just got too busy. We've had too much on this year. But it was going to be a lot of fun. I heard it was amazing. And we were going to sort of do a live brew with Dom at Pelicano. Very sad news. Dom is leaving Pelicano. He's going to start his own roastery. So that's actually exciting. But we just love talking to him at Pelicano. Here's a Pelicano t-shirt. You want to see? Got a bit of merch here. I love this. It's like a playing card. Very cool. With this sort of fat man design of theirs that I love with his hat. Love it. There's Pelicano. And our 4 coffees this month are represented by roasters on the coast, not the coffees themselves. The coffees themselves are a Kenya, an Ethiopia, Guatemala, and a Colombia. All delicious. We're about to try them. How long have we got now, Aiko?
There.
We're nearly there. We have 1.5 minutes left, guys. So get your tasting cards ready. I'm going to put my name on it. The edition number. What edition number is this? 21? 20. Today's date, God knows, the 30th, I think. 27th. Okay. Right. And the most important thing to fill in at the end will be your scores. We'd always like at the end to do a little fun game of holding up a bag of your favorite coffee, and then we'll visually see a little vote at the end. So
We're gonna go quickly this time.
yeah, we are going to go quickly this time. So if you have any interesting feedback on the aroma, the mouthfeel, the acidity, the body, or the finish, please call it out or type it really loud, because we're going to be flying through this. I want to get to flavor notes quicker. I want to use the flavor wheel. I love using the chart because it's a chart that flows through. I don't know many other flavor wheels that include this way of thinking. There are flavor wheels that subdivide into different categories, but this kind of flow of thinking of fruity, what kind of fruit, dried fruit, what kind of dried fruit, raisin. And then I got to go beyond the flavor wheel and say, is there anything more specific about that raisin? Is it a toasted raisin? Add that as well. Oh, Black Honey Girl, what is that? Flavor wheel? It looks amazing. She's teasing me with this thing. It's time to go, guys. Let's get our spoons ready. Here we go. Okay. I want to hear some loud sipping as well. You know you're doing it right when you sip very loud, because you're adding oxygen to your sip, and that will enhance the flavor even more. Okay. Now we're going to go through this very quickly and do mouthfeel, acidity, body, and finish. So fly through them. I'm now going to fly through it and do mouthfeel. And remember, don't mark anything on your first sip. You need a comparative analysis. So comparison is how you analyze. Wow, 1 and 2, very similar. It's going to be hard to separate them when it comes to mouthfeel and body and things like that. Okay, that's mouthfeel. Mouthfeel tends to be quite similar every month. It's because our wonderful selection process means you guys are getting clean coffees every month. I don't think it's cloudy is a measure of bad coffee. It's just that we seem to be drawn to these very, very clean, bright tasting coffee. Okay, acidity. Is there any difference in acidity between 1 and 2? I'm not sure. There kind of should be, shouldn't there?
I've got more in 2.
More in 2. Interesting. Is there more acidity in number 3 than 1 and 2? That's amazing if there is, because that's a natural and you wouldn't expect that normally. Okay. I would have thought lower acidity on a natural, longer finish, that kind of thing. But this natural is not behaving like normal naturals. Okay. Now I'm on to body. Body is a tricky one, isn't it? So we got, is it a light body? Is it a full mouthfeel? Very similar to mouthfeel. Don't forget to sip water occasionally. Even the tiniest bit of water, just a drop, can help remove excess flavors building up. But try not to dip your spoon in your sip. As I... Okay, which one has the fullest body, in your opinion, guys? I'm struggling here, so I want your opinion. Fullest body.
Technically, what is the, like, to define between body and mouthfeel?
Right. So concentrate on the mouthfeel. The clean and the cloudy doesn't represent in the mouthfeel the weight of the water. So the full body, like it's punchy or light. Is it coming through in force, or is it just kind of just like delicately you're grabbing the taste?
Right.
Attacking.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I see. I think I've been confusing body into mouthfeel.
I see. Yeah,
So
this is something we're going to probably redefine in the future, but there is a sort of small difference.
Right.
Again, with cupping, it's an art of focusing the mind. It's like anything when you study, when you're in study mode, you have to concentrate the mind and do more than just enjoy what you're doing. You have to really work at it. And then later you'll naturally do it. So this is the exercise, is the mind focusing on one aspect of the coffee each time. One, and ignoring the other 10 things that are ringing in your taste buds.
Well, I would say number 3 comes through the strongest with body in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking of the 4, 2, and 3 have the most body, but probably 3 has the most.
Excellent. And now pay attention to the finish. It should be number 3 as a natural, but is it a very long finish, or is it just slightly longer than the rest? Because it's an unusual natural. I'm going to do a comparison each time, 3 and 1, 3 and 2, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not convinced that this has the longest finish. Anyway, please put down and call out which one you think has the longest finish, and then we're moving into flavor notes. How much time have we got left overall? 10 minutes, guys. It's a speedy session. Okay. And the longest finish, in my opinion, is possibly Stuker. I think it's Stuker. What do you think? Maybe number 3. I wanted it to be something other than number 3, but it might end up being Nord again. Stuker's is the second longest.
Yeah.
Right. Now we're going to go and do taste flavor notes. Are you ready? Here we go. Get your flavor wheels. If you've got a flavor wheel in your head, that's where it should be, really. I'm just using the chart so you guys can visually see what's going on in my head. But this is what's going on in my head every time. I start in the center. Which flavor? Then I work my way out. What category, category, category. So
We are gonna go to number 1.
start with number 1. Here we go. It's still warm. This is a good temperature to identify the flavor notes. It's revealing a lot more than when it was hot, but you don't want to wait till it's cold because it will change again. So what am I tasting? Wow. Well, number 1 is very different right now than brew it with a filter paper, but I've got to forget about that. Creamy kind of coffee right now.
Maybe maybe a hint of molasses or brown sugar back in there.
Definitely. Morgan, is that you? Yes, molasses. Interesting one. This is good, guys. Go to your most unusual flavor note and pull it out. Mr. iPad usually comes up with the really interesting ones. Okay.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. What am I tasting? Pietro, give me a flavor note, please. Can't wait to hear what Pietro
Number 1,
comes up with.
Marlon.
What?
Coffee.
Coffee number 1. I need an
Number
interesting
1,
flavor
okay.
note.
Cranberry, white pepper, stone fruit, vanilla.
White pepper.
White pepper.
Yeah.
There it is. There's that Pietro flavor note. He doesn't disappoint. White pepper. Wow. Okay. I can understand why you're picking up white pepper. I'm not sure I'm getting it, but there's something unusual and kind of a little gentle bite at the end. So curious, that one.
Clove
Clove, says Aiko.
Yeah.
or star anise.
Acid says Morgan, star anise. You're all going to something unusual and almost spicy. And that, to me, is what I love about this coffee and Morgan Coffee Roasters, is their ability to find and roast these coffees from Colombia that have that. It's like a papaya or something, but it's that little fruity bite that you get in a Colombian coffee that makes it deliciously complex. Coffee number 2, here we go. Oh, wow. Well, I was smelling cake and I'm tasting cake as well, fruit cake or something. What are you guys getting?
Yeah.
I got a little cranberry in that one myself.
God damn it, Stuka nailed it with this one. This is one of my favorite Guatemalan coffees. I have to say, I don't usually get that excited about Guatemala as an origin. What about you guys?
Morgan is getting
Cranberry? Yeah, but maybe cranberry muffin or something, right? It's
Cranberry.
always got a cake sweetness that's just embedded in there. And in the end, there's like a, not lychee, but there's a high pop, right? There's a little acid pop. Can we identify that? What type of acidity? Lychee, a lychee acidity, yeah? Something lychee-like. Yeah, I'm definitely getting something like that.
someone to
I'd like, yes, Eileen, what are you getting from coffee number 3? 2 from Guatemala.
I'm kind of getting a raisiny vibe,
Raisin vibe. Ooh, I
Yeah.
like that.
like malty raisiny.
malt.
Yeah.
Multi raisins. See, this is interesting. There's no such thing, right, as multi raisins, but we're allowed to do this. Anything goes when identifying flavor notes. You can create multi raisins. You can have, I don't know, diamond encrusted apples. You can have whatever you like, but as long as your brain is going there and you can get other people to go there, it's a good thing. Okay, coffee number 3. Here we go. Oh, sip some water. That's a good sip, whoever's doing that. Oh, wow. Number 3 is a kaleidoscope of deep flavors, right? You've got something buttery, something
Woody.
nutty. It's very much in the kind of, let's go on our flavor wheel into the more nutty flavor notes. Sweet. Where are the nutty?
It's like an almond kind of thing going on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We've got almonds and nuts and what else? It's almost meat, but it's not meat.
Mint. Mint pie.
It's almost tobacco. It's almost meat. It's these very brothy kind of flavors that I love, but are dangerous to describe without people misunderstanding.
Yeah. Like sometimes that's like I get that like I would call that maybe like a cereal, almost like toasted cereals.
Very good. Yes, that
Yeah.
cerealness. It's interesting. And again, people can be put off by these descriptors, but the experience is certainly a pleasant one. So yeah, these are not negative notes we're describing. Great stuff. Finally, coffee number 4. Oh, wow. Wow. Now, this is a beautiful Kenyan and a beautiful example of that fruit explosion that you get with the Kenyan. After that cakey, unusual multi experience with number 3, to dive into the fruit, you know, that's Ethiopia, a neighbor of Kenya. Now, I'd like to talk about the difference between Kenya and Ethiopia, but you'll have to wait till next month, the Africa edition, where we'll focus on that. For now, just know that you cross the border to Kenya and you're going to get very different types of beans, a very different coffee experience, and that's reflected here in this fruit explosion. Call out some fruit flavor notes, please, everyone.
Raspberry.
Raspberry, very much so. These are classic Kenyan flavor experiences. But I found when I brewed this coffee the other day with Dom that there was also a lot of floral notes in there. So depending on how you brew it, you can release a lot of florals out of this coffee. Again, I'm getting a kind of cake kind of sweetness, but maybe that's just my taste buds carrying over. I'm not sure. At the end of a cupping session, things can get pretty muddled, right? Okay. What else am I tasting? Call them out, guys. Not strawberry, not blue, maybe blueberry. It's a very berry orientated experience. And I just want to see what goes beyond that. Anybody? Pietro, anything unusual in coffee number 4? Or is that a pretty standard Kenyan for you?
He's not here.
Ah, Pietro's gone. Okay. Well, anyone else? If you've got any interesting flavor notes, call them out. Otherwise, we're wrapping up very soon.
Maybe like a sort of kind of like a jasmine, kind of like that kind of, you know,
Floral. Mm-hmm.
yes, in the back, kind of like.
I'm not getting the jasmine now, but on the finish I am. I think, yeah, when you wait a minute, then you can sort of feel that leftover jasmine in your mouth, in the taste buds. Really
It's
great. How long
There
have we
might be
got?
another, yeah, I'm not sure.
All right,
Maybe
we've
a
got a
little
vote now.
fruity, maybe a little fruity apple as well.
Apple. Morgan's getting fruity apple, huh?
Like a red apple, maybe. Or-
That's
Yeah.
the acidity. It's a malic acid. Well done. It's definitely got that apple acidity. Boom. Love it. Okay. So let's get coffees voting. Why am I holding these?
The flavor notes to reveal.
Let's reveal the flavor notes very quickly. So coffee number 1, creamy papaya caramel.
Yeah.
It's a very simple thing they do. They only pick 3 things and usually only 2 of them are flavor notes. So obviously there's a lot more than that, but we got there. Coffee number 2, they say has apple cider, acai honey, and nectarine.
Mm.
Very interesting. I don't think I went to nectarine at all. So
Cider.
very interesting. The apple cider, I can see. That's just another way to interpret what we were tasting. But the nectarine, crazy. Okay, coffee number 3. A clean, refreshing coffee with aromas of bright citrus, florals, honey, oranges, peach, and the aftertaste notes of black tea, which is amazing in a natural Ethiopia to get black tea. That's usually a washed coffee trait.